Hey folks, how you doing? This is the American Liberty Radio Network. This is the American Liberty Radio Network audio blog. Just remember audio blog. You'll be fine. So, anyway, I just wanted to get something out today, and I'm not able to really commit myself to an hour right now. It's just way too much going on. It's called life, you know? And besides that, I'm not feeling 100% right now. I'm probably around 80, so... But I'm going to give you this anyway. And this blog is a little personal, yet not so much. So I'm going to put it to you this way. You know, I see people and hear people talking about other hosts, other programs, other people doing other things, you know, whatever it may be. And I hear the criticism. And to me, it's not constructive. I know several hosts that will not, online radio hosts that will not even talk about anybody else because they know. They know that it's pointless. They know that, it's not needed, really. So when I hear people, the people that I know, that I've talked to before, start bashing other people and other hosts, I begin to wonder. Now, let me translate that into your own personal life. You hear someone from work bashing someone else for whatever reason, but then you see them, hey, how you doing? It's like you were bashing that person 5 minutes ago, and now you're shaking their hand. Kind of makes me wonder about your integrity or your character. I'm not sure which. Can I just say that you're two-faced? But this is what happens. This is what happens when you get people who are, let's just say, a little too arrogant, a little too egotistical, if it were, to think that they have the right answers. And you know darn well they don't. And you know that you're going to criticize them for something you don't understand. Well, you got two choices. Either don't open your mouth at all and just keep it shut and just keep those criticisms to yourself. Or politely, in some cases politely, and reasonably talk to that person and just say, hey, I saw you do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But what I see and what I'm talking about basically is somebody getting on air and criticizing everybody else under the sun and thinking that they're all wrong. Or thinking that they're connected. Or trying to expose them. Or trying to, tell everybody else, oh, they have disinformation. They're this and they're a disinfo agent and all that. You know what? Shut up. Because you got nothing to say, and anything that you say is not going to be heard by the people that you want to hear it. And the people that do hear it, that do know about these other hosts, these other people, these other circumstances, these other situations, they're going to look at you and know that you're full of crap. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I don't, let me just give you a little side note here. I don't always agree with Glenn Beck. I don't always agree with Alex Jones. I don't always agree with Pete Santilli or Michael Vera over at Late Night in the Midlands or Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. I don't have to agree with everything that they say. And that's where it ends. Because I don't sit there and criticize them. Negatively criticize them. There's constructive criticism, and that's good. And I'll talk about that after the break. But seriously. Stop. Okay? Just stop, because if you don't know, you don't know. Don't sit there and try to speculate and fill in the blanks and say, oh, now I've got the goods on this guy. Really? Kind of makes me question your character. Not kinda, no, it does make me question your character and your integrity. Okay? That's just the way it is. Folks, I'm going to go to break. I don't usually do breaks on the blogs, but hey, I got to take a break. So there you go. So anyway, hey, you can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. That's AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. You can go to WayneSPierce.com. Check out the radio shows and schedules, and you can support the American Liberty Radio Network if you want. Also, buy my book, Many Directions of Man. It's at the store on the site at WayneSPierce.com. And, buy my book. Of course, yeah, hey, I got to keep the website up somehow. So there you go. I'm being totally transparent with you. So there you go. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's that simple, folks. That's the way it is with me. So email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. You are listening to the audio blog on American Liberty Radio Network right here on WayneSPierce.com and Spreaker.com. Talk to you in a bit. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Email us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. The reality underneath the honesty. Live Truth Radio with Brian Lang. LiveTruthRadio.com. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz is your home for all the independent music and movies you need. For more information, go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. What we see is not reality. It is distorted reality. Go to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. The Pete Santilli Show on the Guerrilla Media Network at GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com or GMN.is. Hey, folks, welcome back to the audio blog, the American Liberty Radio Network audio blog. Yeah, I like to do this. I do have blogs on the website at WayneSPierce.com under the blog section, and also you can listen to past episodes as well if you can. I think you can listen to past episodes at the website there at Radio Shows and Schedules. If not, go to Spreaker.com, look under American Liberty Radio Network, and check out the shows. There you go, folks. Yes, what a day. So anyway, I talked about the criticism before. So I want to nail this down. I want to put this in perspective, because I want to make sure that you know where I'm coming from. And I don't have to explain myself all the time, but every so often I like to, put it out there. I don't criticize other people unless they just don't know. Well, why don't you just give them the answer? Because they're not going to learn. I'm guilty of being an ass. Let me tell you something. So there you go. I get up in people's faces and I tell it like it is, and they don't like it, and I feel like crap afterwards. That's why I don't criticize when somebody, here, let me give you a comparison. If someone's talking to me about what's going on and all that, and they're concise and they say, well, this, and this, and they're right down the line and everything's fine, to me, that's an intelligent person when they have everything in front of them or out of their memory to tell you and to tell me and to anybody else. If they're talking, if your friend is talking to you, you want to make sure you understand him, don't you? Well, that's how I like people to talk to me. But when they look at me, I'll give you a comparison here. When they look at me and go, oh, I can't remember that politician's name that was in Omaha. I can't remember, that kind of stuff. I can go on from there, but you get the drift, right? To me, that's not a very intelligent person. And yes, I'm going to criticize them. Yes, I'm going to get up in their face. Yes, I'm going to tell it like it is. And if they don't like it, not my problem. We're sitting in this big giant tent watching this multiple ringed circus. And we're seeing all of the clowns that are out there making their way out of their little tiny cars. And we're looking at the trapeze artist, and we're looking at the at the sword swallower, and we're looking at the contortionist, and we're looking at all this stuff. What we're not looking at is the person that is so nondescript that they're walking through the audience trying to get to their seat. Maybe there's multiples of these people, and they're taking your wallet right out of your pocket, and they're stealing your money and your things. And This is the government we have, folks. This is the government we voted into office. I said something very radical yesterday. Yeah, me, radical? Really? I said something really radical yesterday, and that was I have a solution to all these problems, and I wrote them down. And let me give those to you. But first of all, let me get that out of my windpipe. I wrote something down this morning, and to me it makes a lot of sense. But I don't know. To some it may not. To some, you may disagree with it. But let me say this right in the beginning, right in the preface, this list I have here. We need to not vote. And we'll see what happens. Okay? We need to not vote, and we need to pick up the pace, if you will, in terms of getting this country back on solid footing. And that would take we the people, you and I, to do that. Not the politicians. Throw them in jail because they're worthless pieces of trash. Okay? I wrote this list. Legalize marijuana, hemp, and cannabis. This is something to think about, folks. I'll put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, by the way. The second one is abolish all forms of taxation. Get rid of it all. Get rid of it all. Abolish all fees. That's in quotes, and that's a pseudo tax. That's why you need to get rid of it. Ban all forms of education found to be misleading and discredited. Number 5, or the fifth thing on the list here, cut all government programs by 50% and close 75% of all government offices. Number 6, cut all foreign aid by 25%. Next, end military deployment to countries that don't want us there. The next on the list is stage and deploy the military to our own borders. Excuse me. Next, abolish squatters' rights. Next on this list that I wrote here on my Facebook page, abolish and ban all corporate contributions to any political party. Next, fire all lobbyists and all the special interest groups. Next, term limits, revised terms, 6-year terms, and no re-elections. Next, abolish all state laws governing gun control, uphold Second Amendment nationwide. Next, ban and abolish anything that could be considered politically correct. Not so much the speech, folks. Let me get that in there. Not so much the speech, but whatever ideology that is based upon that political correct speech needs to be thrown out. And all it takes is education, folks. That's all it is. Next, abolish policies that inhibit basic housing for the working poor. On average, people are working 2 jobs, 2 part-time jobs, maybe a full-time job and a part-time job, and they're not taking home, or I should say, they're taking home less than $2,000 a month. A single person cannot live on less than $2,000 a month, okay? With apartment prices and food and gas and insurance, and there's no way. Next on the list is abolish and ban homeowners associations. Next on the list, ban and abolish lease agreements that violate the Bill of Rights. Next on the list, all rents, mortgages should be contingent upon your wages. Abolish and ban the recommendation that a person has to make 3 times more than the rent. And last on the list, abolish the IRS and the Federal Reserve. I should have put that first, because you abolish the IRS and the Federal Reserve, all those other things will work out. I'll put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. And if you agree with it, great. If you don't, great. I want to know. I want to know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. The Views Expressed Live is coming back. It's going to be back probably, I'm looking more towards the summer, because I took it offline. I'm not doing it anymore. I just had to take a little break from it because I'd been doing it for over 4.5 years. So I wanted to freshen it up a bit. I wanted to pull it off and rework it and do some other things with it and go from there. So I'm looking at probably June. This is April, so I'm looking at about June, maybe the middle of June. So stay tuned. I got more news. I got more news about that. So you can just stay tuned there. Tell you more about that as the time gets closer. Now, in the remaining moments of my audio blog here, I want to re-emphasize the need to pay attention. I do that in my podcast, my regular podcast during the week. Pay attention. Okay? Because if you don't, well, number one, you won't know what's going on. And number two, you'll not be able to take care of what you got to take care of if you're not paying attention. Infowars.com Special Ops veterans groups have launched Counter Jade Helm operation. Initiative will observe the attempted infiltration of our towns. Paul Joseph Watson wrote this, posted it today, the 10th of April, 2015. Patriot groups across the country are preparing to launch a counter Jade Helm operation to keep tabs on the controversial U.S. military exercise that some fear is part of the preparations to train troops for civil unrest and martial law. Last year, I read documents directly from the UN, directly from the federal government, and some other documents as well that have said and have claimed and have shown that there will be a military style, I'm going to say that, military style of protection of the federal government when it collapses, because there will be unrest among the citizens of the United States. Okay? Jade Helm, a quote-unquote realistic military training exercise involving 9 states, which will involve the Green Berets, the Navy SEALs, and the 82nd Airborne Division, and is set to take place from July 15th to September 15th, has prompted concerns after Texas and Utah were labeled quote-unquote hostile territory in documents related to the exercise. Although U.S. Army insists the drill is designed to prepare troops for combat abroad, concerns have been raised that the exercise is part of a history of a military readying for domestic disorder. During the drill, soldiers will operate undetected amongst civilian populations, that's in quotes, to see if they can infiltrate without being noticed. Residents will be encouraged to report quote-unquote suspicious activity during the exercise. In response, patriot groups led by Pete Lantery, former president of Icon Technical Industries, will monitor the exercises. I'm going to put this on the Wayne S. Spear Show Facebook page because I got a question. I just want to ask this question in regards to that article. And you can read it on the Wayne S. Spear Show Facebook page. It's over on Infowars.com. The question is this. When the crap hits the fan, and you're standing out in the street in your underwear, and you know that at some point you're going to be hauled off, what are you going to do at that point? What are you going to do? Are you going to depend on your neighbors? Are you going to do everything you can prior to them coming into your house and taking you out and putting you in a truck? Or are you going to do everything you can to stop them from doing that? Or are you sitting there right now thinking, well, hell, they have bigger guns than I have. Well, I'm not, there's no challenge there. I'm just going to surrender and go with them. I don't know, folks. Your neighborhood, your family, friends, coworkers, your city, your county, and your state depend on you. And when a domestic enemy comes into your city, state, county, and goes into your streets and terrorizes you, what's your first plan of action? What, you have no plan? I suggest you make a plan. I've talked to a couple of people who are on my Facebook friends list, and they have confirmed with me, confirmed from their perspective, I should say, let me use that clarifier, confirmed from their perspective to me that this country is no longer, that the United States of America is no longer. We have been overrun, overthrown. We now have a pseudo-dictator in the White House. And it is going to get as bad as you might think, and probably worse. So make a plan, people. Make a plan now, because you won't have time to make it later. I really suggest, I seriously want to suggest to you to go find your local militia groups that are very much aware of what's going on, that have absolutely no connection with the federal government whatsoever, including your state government. A citizens militia. If Obama talked about a citizen army that can be well funded just as much as the regular army, why are you sitting there listening to that bull crap? Why don't you go out and start finding these people, defending yourself? Well, you're a fearmonger. Why are you telling? No, I'm a realist. Let me tell you how much of a realist I am, and I'll break this down in a very simple manner in the minutes I have left. You're driving your car, you come to an intersection. The intersection has 4 stop signs. Who goes first? You got to wait till it's safe, right? There you go. It ain't safe, folks. It ain't safe, and you need to make it safe. I don't care where you're listening to this show at. Pakistan, Netherlands, I don't care. You are a human being and deserve to be free and liberated just like us in the United States of America. We're human beings. We have God-given rights, and our leaders, our country, our government cannot take those away from us. That's a little something. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can ask me anything you like. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's that simple. It's that simple. Email me, even if you disagree with me. The burden of proof is on you. Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to WayneSPierce.com. Contribute to the American Liberty Radio Network if you want to. If you are so inclined to do so and support this network, that would be great. Or you can go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show page, which is at thewaynesPierceShow.weebly.com. Check that out as well. There's so many things that you need to pay attention to, folks. And are you paying attention? Are you seriously paying attention? Because, look at the mess we've gotten ourselves into by being complacent and apathetic. Think about that one, folks. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Go to WayneSPierce.com. Go to the store. Buy my book, please. Got to support the website somehow. Many Directions a Man. Thank you. Also, you can contribute to the American Liberty Radio Network through Bitcoin, PayPal, and I have a GoFundMe site. So help out if you can. Okay? What a day, folks. It's Friday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. And remember this. I always like to leave something for people to remember, and I say this at the end of the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. Liberty is the road, and freedom is the goal.